Digital Literacy for Students with Disabilities. Facilitator, Jane E. Jarrow, Ph.D. Disability Compliance in Career and Online Learning, DCCOL. This class is meant for teaching faculty, instructional designers, and online learning support staff. Sometimes they're one and the same, but at some institutions, faculty who teach online or who are creating an online component for a blended class are expected to rely on their own understanding and technical expertise to assure that the information is fully accessible to all students. At some online learning institutions, the course design is the responsibility and purview of the professionals who work behind the scenes in the development of educational content, while the faculty interact with students and teach from a predetermined curriculum. Tech support personnel sometimes advise faculty and instructional designers, and sometimes are themselves responsible for creating accessibility on request. We know that institutions of higher education must provide full access to educational opportunity to qualified students with disabilities. How that legal mandate is met is a function of institutional organization. Whatever your role in the delivery of online instruction, this class is for you. A special note to faculty teaching blended classes with a significantly increasing online component. While much of this course seems to be directed to your colleagues teaching online-only classes, recognize that the philosophy, suggestions, and concerns expressed regarding their online teaching efforts are equally important to you as you consider the online elements of the classes you teach. You, too, are an integral part of the migration of higher education to the virtual world. You are already good at what you do on campus. Now you need to consider how to bring existing knowledge and skills to the new and different situations. In other classes within the Sloan track on accessibility, there is in-depth discussion of the concept of universal design as originally conceived in the context of architecture and an accessible built environment. Universal design is recognized internationally as a logical, ethical, and eminently practical approach to creating a user-friendly world for all, including those with disabilities. Universal design is the design of products and environments to be usable by all people to the greatest extent possible without the need for adaptation or specialized design. Applied to online learning, universal design becomes a blueprint for creating a learning environment that provides all individuals with equal opportunities to reach and understand the information, calling for varied and flexible ways to present or access information, concepts, and ideas, the what of learning, plan and execute learning tasks, the how of learning, and to get engaged and stay engaged in learning, the why of learning. In the context of our new virtual world, universal design is an approach to designing course instruction, materials, and content to benefit people of all learning styles without adaptation or retrofitting. Universal design provides equal access to learning, not simply equal access to information. Hold that thought. Let's talk about digital literacy. Traditionally, the dictionary defines literacy as the ability to read and write. A secondary definition suggests that literacy is competence or knowledge in a specific area. Whether digital literacy is somewhere in between, or whether it is beyond these two definitions, is still to be decided. Ken Grisham is the CEO of Premier Literacy, a company whose mission is to enrich and improve the lives of people worldwide by making information truly accessible through the use of affordable technology. He is quick to point out that we are seeing a wholesale transformation from our traditional understanding of literacy to the skills needed to survive in an online world. As Grisham notes, literacy is so much more than reading from a book. Grisham believes that digital literacy is the combination of two complementary elements: internal knowledge, information committed to personal memory, and external knowledge, information readily available from one's ability to employ digital literacy tools, techniques, and practices. That idea is reinforced when one views a listing of skills and abilities needed to be digitally literate, a listing that focuses on manipulating information from the digital world, not just consuming it. Grisham's paradigm for understanding the core elements of digital literacy is a necessary overlay to our discussion of how and what to teach in an accessible online environment. Digital literacy for the 21st century demands the ability to use the appropriate digital tools, facility in reaching and processing digital materials, and appropriate access and response to digital curriculum. Students with disabilities face barriers to each of these elements. Some of the barriers are a function of disability, but many are created by lack of foresight or effort on the part of institutional personnel. Examining Grisham's 3 core elements of digital literacy in the context of our newfound understanding of universal design provides a framework for action and implementation of a more inclusive online learning environment. Digital tools. This element encompasses 3 separate components of technology that must be considered in assessing the accessibility of online learning. 1, the technology used by the system to support online learning organization and activities. 2, the necessary technology and proficiency with that technology needed for any student in the learning experience. And 3, assistive technology used by students with disabilities to access online information and activities. Digital content. Digital content is an umbrella term that focuses on representation and expression of learning. In our case, we want to focus on accessible digital content. These might include such things as assigned texts, readings and assignments posted to the class website, access to all the internet-based information needed to fulfill class assignments and responsibilities, and access to the tools and mechanisms needed to submit student work. Digital curricula. What then of digital curricula? Traditional wisdom suggests that curriculum drives content. That is, the content of the course is determined by the expressed learning objectives. If we have already accounted for accessibility of online content, then is not digital curricula already accounted for? No, not yet. We want learners to be engaged. It's not enough to teach what we have always taught, presented as accessible digital content, and reach through the use of digital tools. It is important to this brave new digital world to consider changing what and how we teach in order to engage and challenge the digital natives who populate our virtual classrooms. Creating and/or developing digital curricula means finding ways of harnessing the tremendous potential of new technology to teach new things in new ways. The pundits tell us that the amount of available information is increasing exponentially. Is it really logical to assume that what should be taught is simply the properly coded version of what we have always taught? During this class, we will explore the interaction between digital tools, content, and the curriculum in the context of the classes you teach and design, always with a focus on assuring that we haven't precluded the participation of students with disabilities along the way. I invite you to participate in the class discussions and to feel free to ask your questions either publicly or privately. I can be reached directly at janejero@aol.com. I look forward to hearing from you.